Welcome, Guardians, to Traveler's Chat, the podcast where we discuss what makes a Guardian a Guardian.
Oh.
To my right, James Kircher.
Hello.
To my left, Derek White.
Hello.
We have no Becca this week because you didn't want to put on a bra. And, of course, just like any other Derailed podcast, this is episode 2 of Traveler's Chat, by the way. But just like any other Derailed podcast, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow us, you can like us, you can subscribe to us. You can get the audio for this podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, and we appreciate it if you rate those podcasts. You can also check us out on November 1st for the Extra Life stream, where we'll be doing lots of stuff, partially nude. And there will be lots of food and games and
male
fun.
Nipples.
Male nipples, hopefully Wes's, both of them, in James's mouth. Not promising anything.
Oh.
And tattoos and people shaving things. And then, of course, if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/derailed. So last week we went over a lot of new stuff, and there's still a lot of new stuff to go. So this is basically a more of a finishing up of the Destiny 2 news so far.
Yeah.
So I have a couple things, bullet points. I'm going to go through those first, okay, Derek? And then we'll talk about what we are expecting and want from Destiny 2. So
I like it.
The first piece of news I have is that they have confirmed there will be no Nintendo Switch version of Destiny 2.
Darn it.
Oh, shoot.
What am I going to do?
Sure
I can't bring it with me.
I don't know if my
mic's
mic's...
time and grieving, but I think as a people, we'll probably overcome.
I don't think our mics can pick up the uproar. No Switch version. The 60 frames per second Destiny 2 cannot run on PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro is not powerful enough to run it at 60 frames.
Oh, that's a
really?
bummer. I mean, I don't like 60 frames a second. I like it, as a person who's into photography and film, I like frame rates, but gaming-wise, 60 frames a second is just, it's too much for me. Mm-hmm. Like 30 FPS or like 25 FPS like they do like in the UK, that's great because it's got a good amount of motion blur, and I'm so accustomed to that motion blur that 60 frames a second just freaks me out. I can't do it. Like Halo 5 they did it, and the first 4 or 5 games, 6 I guess if you include Reach and ODST, both had 30 frames a second, but then Halo 5 switched up and went to 60, and I couldn't do it. Like, I literally, it was like, it's like I never played the franchise before, ever.
Yeah, you just don't have the same control that you do. Everything's so much faster, it's hard to aim the same way.
The fluidity of the game is just incredible, and I can't do it.
Yep, agreed. So we don't have to worry about that on PS4 Pro, and you definitely don't have to worry about that on regular PS4.
Yay, for us regular PS4 people.
So they have said that there will be a Trials of Osiris-like experience before they release a Osiris-themed DLC. So there will be some sort of Trials of Osiris functionality in Destiny 2, and then we'll get a full themed Osiris DLC.
So now the Trials experience, so is that to come before the first... So if you pre-order a digital deluxe edition like I did, or if you get, I think, any version beyond that, you are included in getting the expansion. And the expansion includes, I guess the season pass. And so it includes the first 2 expansions, the first of which comes out this winter, I believe, and the next one next summer. I believe the one this winter is a Trials release, but it's no longer Trials of Osiris.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know if it's going to be the first or the free one or like one included. I don't know. But that's very vague, just saying that there will be some sort of Trials of Osiris experience. But I don't know when and where.
I mean... I'm going to check it out, of course, because it's there.
Yeah. We're terrible at Trials of Osiris.
I've done trials probably less than 20 minutes collectively over the last however long it's been out.
Yeah. Well, us three tried, yeah. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was awful.
We just got fucking
It was
slaughtered.
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We walked away, we never spoke of it again.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what we didn't talk about last week is the bad guy for Destiny 2. His name is Gaul.
Gary.
Eagle?
Gary?
Gary.
Who's Gary?
It's in the world premiere trailer. It's Cade 6, and he's like,
Cade says
Gary, or something with a G.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Now I remember.
So Gaul is the bad guy. Gaul. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. There's some big cabal, son of a bitch or whatever, but they are focusing so fucking much on story. The new quote today was that I hope people complain about how much story there is in Destiny 2.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
I heard
awesome.
that. That was awesome.
And
like, I can't wait for all the hate tweets like there's too much fucking story.
Yeah.
I love that.
The line of dialogue that stood out to me too was from Gaul, and he's like, "You Guardians have forgotten what death is," and then he kicks us off a ledge or whatever, and he's like, "Let me reacquaint you," and it was like dope as fuck. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in."
Wow.
Yeah.
There are 2 new enemy types that I saw from the Cabal: War Beasts, which are little dogs.
Yeah.
The first time I think that we're killing animals or animal type things. And then gladiators, which are big old Cabal guys that are not quite like phalanxes where they have the shields.
Yeah.
And the shields of the phalanx have changed a little bit too.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Derek?
Yeah. Well, and I like the fact that they've kind of changed it up. They've modernized the way the Cabal are coming at you. So, you know, they have those shields that they can drop and expand. Mm-hmm. And,
that's
you know,
true,
they still have a weakness. It's not like they're impenetrable, but they have made some changes. You know, those hellhound-looking dogs. You know, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of choke points that you're going to get to where they're going to come in all directions, and I have a feeling they're going to be kind of like the thrall of the Cabal.
The
like
gladiators or the phalanx?
What's that?
The gladiators or the phalanx?
I'm
probably saying that wrong.
The dog things.
The war beasts. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the war beasts are going to be like the thrall, yeah.
Those are going to be like the thrall of the Cabal. They're just going to come out in droves, and you're just going to have to fend off as best as you can.
Make sure you stand tall.
Stand tall against the ball that is the Cabal thrall.
The thrall of the Cabal.
Yeah. There's probably going to be exploding war beasts, you know.
That Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
That Shooter McGavin scene.
Yeah.
I may go lay it down by the bay. I just may.
Yeah. Okay, so War Beast Gladiators. So here's a little bit of news about where our Guardian Master guys will be. Our Vanguard representatives. So Cade 6 is going to be lost in a portal on the new planet Nessus. It's a new area in between the area of Neptune and Uranus. It is taken by the Vex.
Oh, shit.
So he goes there and gets lost in a portal. Which sounds awesome. So you've got a new area, Nessus, and also the areas are so much bigger too. So like it's huge. There's the new Crucible map is on Nessus, I think. Right? Did you those videos they premiered yesterday on Monday?
The new so the hidden, is it the Hidden Veil?
Yeah, that's on Nessus, right?
Yeah, that's a Nessus-based map, and that is the way I heard it is a Vex planetoid. It's one that they've kind of turned into their machine worlds.
Yep. And then we have the Jupiter Moon Low. right? Lo.
Io.
Io. Thank you. Io. Which is the last place the Traveler touched before the collapse, and that's where Ikora Rey goes.
Yes,
okay.
it's a very special place for warlocks.
Yeah. And so what my guess is there, because they're still being extremely vague about how our progression system works in a lightless Destiny world. And I think that maybe because that's the last place that the Traveler touched it, that there's something there maybe that we draw light from to kind of have a little bit of light, because we still have supers.
Yeah.
Which comes from light. So something there, you know.
And you see all that too in the little gameplay that we've seen so far in Crucible matches and all that stuff.
There's got to be something, and they're still just being super vague about it.
God, all the Crucible
You know,
channels
and
are fucking
I'm
amazing.
super curious about that. Like, there are hundreds of reasons why I'm super excited about this game, but one of them that really stands out is how are we getting our supers back?
Right.
How do we go from having everything to having nothing to getting it back?
Yep.
Because
I can't wait to play this
in one of the interviews that I watched today, they were talking about, you know, it's being a guardian is more than just the weapons that you have and the armor that you wear. Mm-hmm. And that's true, and that's all good and well, but how do we get to that point? Is it going to be some sort of realization where it's going to be one of those, like, it was inside of you all along, you know, like, is it one of those things?
Oh, true.
Or is it, like, what is it? Are we solar powered? Like, how does it happen?
Well, by asking that question leads to why they're being so secretive about it. Like, that is the ultimate question. That is probably the crux of the story, and that's why they're being so quiet about it.
Yep.
Good call.
That's got to be a key player.
Yeah, exactly. Lastly, the Saturn moon of Titan is a new planet, and
which is where Zavala ends up.
Well, he goes to the moon.
He goes to the moon?
Yeah, so that's what I thought too. It says that Saturn moon Titan is a new player space, and Zavala goes to the moon to try and get the Fallen to go against the Cabal with us.
Or is he going to the moon of Saturn, Titan?
Oh, shit. You're probably right. You're probably right. Fuck.
I think that's... So the three places would be Titan, Io, and Nessus.
Yep, you're right.
And then obviously we have Earth, which would be like the EDZ, the European Dead Zone.
Yep.
I think those are going to be the four major locations. I feel like Earth is primarily going to be more of a jumping off point, like here's the farm, and then I'm sure we're going to have like a handful of things to do there. But based on how many events that were shown in Nessus, it looks like we're going to spend a lot of time on these new planets. It sounds like they had some serious dedication to world building.
Yeah.
So man,
but are
I'm
they going to
excited
give
to
us
see
a reason to go back to Venus and Mars? Are they even going to be player spaces into? I don't know about that yet.
Well, and have they mentioned Venus, Mars,
No.
The Moon? Have they mentioned any of those coming back? Or because
Not that
there's
I've
a
heard.
lot of focus, like especially on Nessus. There's a lot of maps being shown of Nessus, and not a whole lot else.
I don't know if that worked.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I wish.
I hope.
Like,
I mean, it'd be cool to see some new areas. Because, like, if you think about the patrol zones, like, if you do patrols in Destiny 1 now, if you look, like, the moon is small. The moon is really small. I mean, it's just a big loop. I mean, there's more to it, but as far as it goes, I mean, it seems really small to me. Where, like, something like Venus seems much bigger, but there's more to do there. And Mars, I think the reason it seems so big is it takes so much time to get from point
it's
A
the space
to
between.
point B.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm super excited. I can barely contain myself about I mean, as a gamer, I've always appreciated what developers have done as far as making something, aesthetically pleasing. You get into this vast open world, and you can appreciate, and you can say, Terry, what's his face, spent 6 months designing that background.
Yeah.
And it's something that most people would just pass over. They just want to get to the next thing. But I'm very much one that becomes up in arms about, look at this place. Like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time here. I should take it all in. And it sounds like they have put so much effort and so much time into what we're going to see.
And I think I took for granted how much time they put into Destiny 1 too, like because of the Queen reference we found in that weapon the other day. Remember that?
Refresh.
When there was the main perk for the weapon is called Dynamite, and then the last node is called With a Laser Beam.
Yes, okay, the Queen reference. So you said Queen, I was thinking the Reef.
Oh, yeah.
Awoken.
Oh, okay.
So they definitely put love and care into Destiny 1, but I can't believe the response that they've taken from Destiny 1 and put into Destiny 2, hopefully.
Well, and one thing I will credit, and it's more of a strategic thing, like, you're never going to go to your boss at work or like do a job interview and be like, well, I'm a real piece of shit, or whatever. Like, but the developers have never said, oh yeah, we didn't put enough time into the story, or we really left you guys hanging. They don't acknowledge that as much as they acknowledge how much more they've put into Destiny 2.
Yep.
They say, like, we're going to have too much story.
Right.
Or we're going to have complaints of how big this planet is or whatever. They never say, how the end of Destiny 1 with the traveler, what do they call it?
Man.
God, what the fuck do they call her? The mystery friend that gives you the rifle. The stranger.
The stranger, yeah.
Yeah, the stranger. She showed up. She's like, hey, here's all this shit and here's this information. And that's like a nice foyer into
the main story.
Going to Mars.
I think we started with Taken.
But then she just poof disappears. Who is she talking to?
Yeah.
And how did she do that vanishing trick? That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
So for James's sake and people who maybe didn't play that and jumped in with Taken King, at the beginning of the vanilla story or the end of the vanilla story, there's this mysterious person who is like faceless and has been following us around through the whole story. Kind of shows up and gives us some words of wisdom or whatever and disappears. And
really?
They're called the Stranger. So they were a huge part of vanilla. Never really talked about after that.
Weird.
And same with the Traveler. Like, and that's what they said this today too in the IGN first video is like. After vanilla, they never really touched on the Traveler, and that's why they're going back to the Traveler, and that's what this is all about. So, hopefully, they touch on more of the vanilla stuff that they, or maybe they'll scrap it, and they just will be like, "Well, that was a story point we wanted to go with, and it didn't go very well, so we scrapped it, whatever." And it'll just be a throwaway character, but pretty intriguing.
Yeah.
Side missions will add more in-game lore. So that'll work similarly to the Grimoire system, which right now you get Grimoire cards, and that's the little score behind, like below your 40.
Yeah.
And you have to go online to read those Grimoire, which is history basically, and it's the history of all the characters. So, and all the backgrounds and stuff. So, with Destiny 2, they're going to give you a side mission where if you talk to this character, they'll say, "Hey, go to the moon or go to Io and complete this," and then you'll get pages of a book that'll be like, "Oh, this is what happened before the collapse, and like this is where the Fallen came from, and this is where awoken people, the race came from," and so that's super cool, which makes it feel more RPG-ish. Which makes I think we talked about that last week a little bit, but it definitely makes it seem more Western RPG, like Derek was saying. Which is a good thing.
Yes.
There's going to be 2 new things, one for story-based missions and one for Crucible missions called Flashpoints and Call to Arms. And they'll be like weekly reset kind of events that will be like, do this in this part of the map with this gun or whatever, and that'll be like a flashpoint and you'll get a special reward.
Yeah.
Or do this many kills in this map of Crucible and that'll be the call to arms that week or daily or whatever. So there'll be flashpoints and call to arms, which sounds super cool. Basically, like, they're giving us more reasons to come back every day and every week to play. I think the quote from the video today was like, the Destiny 1 was very like consistent and like a slow paced heartbeat, you know, like people came back and they were, you know, it was very like methodical and stuff. And this they want Destiny 2 to be like a machine gun, like like we're coming back all the time.
Yeah.
We're doing shit all the time and there's fucking stuff all the time and we're getting rewards all the time. So like high octane motherfucking shit. So I'm totally pumped for that. Milestones, how you track missions. So there'll be a very easy way to see what the best thing for you to do next is, and those will be in your milestones. So they're trying to make it more intuitive and simpler to, instead of like, they definitely made it better with the updates with the quest markers and being able to track quests, because in vanilla, like year one, it was totally obtuse what I had to do, who gave me this quest, why am I doing this, you know, and at least now you can get a summary and track it, and so now it'll be even easier to see like, here's what we recommend you do next to give you the best rewards in a very organized way. So that sounds awesome.
Yes.
My last point is beyond engrams. So there will still be engrams to decode, obviously, because we have a cryptarch. The light leveling system is very vague, as we touched on earlier. So we don't really know what's going to happen with leveling, and that's really weird. Definitely. So that's all I have.
Well, I like it. And, you know, I'm getting pretty excited about what's to come with Crucible.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yep.
Let's talk about it.
The Crucible is... It sounds like they're really taking some big changes, you know, and one of the big things that they're really pushing is for control.
Yeah.
The control match is being changed.
I love those changes.
A and C
James, why don't you
auto-captured.
start?
What's that?
I was going to say, why don't you start?
I like the biggest thing is that the 2-step to control a zone in the first one was fucking stupid, I thought. Like, why do you have to stand there and neutralize
and
it?
Recapture.
And then recapture, and then the more people that join you, the faster you capture it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one person is just as fast as 4 people, and you only have to capture, you don't have to neutralize it.
Yes, and you know, that at the beginning, you each basically have one zone. Points A and C are captured, so you're both just...
Yeah.
So everyone's just going balls deep for, you know, B.
So now everyone's beelining.
Yes.
I love the 4v4 system now that I understand it, because you can see who is using what up at the top from your team and the other team, and you can see when they have supers and who's dead, because it's always 4v4. They have enough room in the HUD to show you what abilities they're using, what super they're using, when they have a super, when they're dead, when they're alive.
And speaking of using super, as have you seen that, like, these roaming supers like Arc Strider and the roaming Striker, that they leave footprints?
No.
Oh, no.
So, like Arc Strider and the Titan Striker class, when they're being used, they leave, like, glowing blue footprints on the ground. So if you were to come around a corner and you see footprints, like, either coming toward you or having gone away from you, it's kind of an indication of which direction they were going. And I think it's going to be kind of a clearly, like, you can see the point of the toes as opposed to the roundness of the heel, so you can see in which direction they ran. Maybe you want to boogie the other way. but there's a glowing path of where they have been.
That's awesome.
That looks pretty interesting.
Speaking of supers, did you see that Voidwalker super?
Oh yeah,
the giant ball that fucking follows you.
Nova bomb.
That shit's crazy.
And evidently, that giant Nova bomb will break up into a bunch of little seekers.
Yeah.
Track
That looks
shit out
really
of you.
cool. And they've also enabled the Mercy rule, which I've only
they have
run
that
into a couple times here in Destiny 1, but they're going to keep it going, and I think they've also improved the Mercy rule, so that it'll end very one-sided matches very quickly, and it'll give players that want to quit, some decent tiered rewards for having not quit, because if you decide to tough it out, you might get some decent gear, but if you quit, you don't really get anything. You quit and you become literally a statistic on Bungie's map, like, hey, here's a percentage of what these people do when they quit. But it's also, it'll reduce, so like, have you ever joined a game and then immediately gotten your ass kicked and then the match is over?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when the matches start becoming super one-sided, the servers will stop allowing join-in progress games. So you're not going to join into a game that you're going to lose. So if it's a one-sided match, you're not going to join either the winning team or the losing team in that match. You're just going to go somewhere else. And there's a lot of statistics shown here of, percentage-wise in a control match, people quitting at a certain score, and they're going to enable that mercy roll. And it's happened to me a couple times where I thought, wow, this match ended super fast, and I don't understand why. And it's because either we were kicking their ass or they were kicking ours. And, I like the fact that they're going to say, hey, there's no reason you have to suffer through all of this. You can just, it's over. Don't worry.
Definitely. I think that it's super weird that snipers are power weapons now.
Yeah.
They're in the heavy slots.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is, it's like I'm not that great with a sniper rifle anyway, so to extend the period of time between when I can use it or not, it's going to be kind of a disadvantage for myself personally. But I mean, it's been interesting. It's that exotic auto rifle, the Sweet Business or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, to see something that strong and with that kind of serious advantage in your primary slot or your kinetic slot, I mean, that's kind of interesting to see. You'd think that would be something more like a power weapon.
Also, the power ammo is on the walls now. Did you see that? It's not little crates.
Yeah.
And for at least control, anyways, there's one close to A and one close to C. So, you can kind of, if you know that C is being captured or whatever, and you happen to be on the A side, you might be able to just swing through, pick some up on your way out.
Right. So, Destiny 1 got a weekly reset.
Oh, yeah.
What did everyone buy from Xur this week? Anything?
I didn't need anything.
Didn't buy anything. I bought... Oh, shit. What did I buy? Hawkmoon? Was Hawkmoon this week?
Yeah.
Hawkmoon was this week,
Yeah, so I bought Hawkmoon.
Remember I told you I ran out of strange coins because I brought 75 3 of coins?
He has 75 3 of coins, Derek.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude.
Addiction to gambling.
You should be burning through those like a mother.
Yeah.
Well, I've burned through probably 10 of them, or maybe 12, and I've gotten 3 exotic drops so far.
Hell yeah.
Nice. I'd say it's already paid off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I myself went and bought the young Ahamkara's Spine, the Hunter Gauntlets. I have no idea if I'm actually going to use them or not, but I needed to add to the collection. And then I also bought the Ophidian Aspect Warlock gauntlets. I figured I just bought them both because I didn't have them, just to kind of fill out the, that Age of Triumph book.
Yeah.
And then usually whatever I have left over, I just buy a ton of exotic shards.
Yeah.
Because
Which I also
I
forgot to
know
do.
I'm going to be upgrading those, those weapons, so I might as well get it in there.
Yep. And then what's that weapon you've been jizzing all over this week that you keep telling me to buy?
The Kvastov.
The other one. You said you could go buy it. The auto rifle.
The sweet whatever? No, that was the other one.
Remember you were like, did you go buy it yet? And I was like, I'm saving up for it.
Oh, no, that wasn't from Zur. That was from the...
Was it the Continental?
The Continental.
Yes, the Continental.
That's the one I have right now.
Yeah.
I got that on a drop.
It's equipped on my Titan right now. And the reason I liked it is... So it had focus fire, which the Suros regime has focus fire, and that's basically when you zoom in, it brings your rate of fire down slower and more chuggy.
So it's like boom, boom, boom.
But it's also stronger. So it causes more damage, but it's also got perfect balance. So it's got crazy stability.
Yeah, it does.
It's got really good stability, but then it's also got persistence. Excuse me. So the longer you fire, the more accurate it becomes. So basically, draining the mag is only beneficial to you because it's going to become extremely stable and very powerful toward the end.
Damn, that sounds awesome.
It's actually better than the Monte Carlo.
Nice.
It is better than the Monte Carlo in the sense that it like I said, that stability, that thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And there are some weapons that have really good rolls, like where it'll have counterbalance and stability, so it just becomes extra stable. It'll have like perfect balance and counterbalance that you can use both at the same time, and it becomes incredibly stable.
So this week's Crucible is something I've never played before. It's a large Call to Arms. It's large maps with vehicles.
Really?
I just played it just before we started this.
Yep.
And I've played a handful of matches. I usually just do it to get the Treasure of Ages, but the closest way to relate it to anybody who's never maybe played one of those, but maybe was balls deep in the Halo franchise, it's the closest thing you can get to big team battle.
Right.
Big maps, there's tanks, there's the pikes, and the nice thing is it's those it's the offensive pikes, to where if you dart left or dart right, it'll launch the little mines. And so I played that a little bit. I pretty much avoid the tanks. That didn't really seem to be the greatest map used for it. It's on the moon, and it's just kind of a weird spot for it to me. But it is pretty fun. I mean, it's nice to get into one of those tanks and just wreck it.
It's not quite as hectic as Big Team Battle, but it's
definitely not quite as hectic. Big Team Battle it's I don't know. It seems faster.
Yeah.
It seems faster.
You're a little farther away, it seems, and there's more stuff in your way to get to the other side of the map in the Destiny.
Yes, rivers and obstructions and stuff like that. In this particular map, it seemed kind of like a big central base, and then just kind of like a big loop around it. But that's really the first time I've ever played on this map, so I would need, definitely more time to kind of experience it for what it is.
Definitely. So that's interesting. We've got.
Did you guys hear about the PS4 Pro bundle that's coming?
Yep.
Yeah, talked about it on Broken Pixel.
And how many are you getting?
I'm getting one, definitely.
Are you really?
Yep.
Wow, I was joking, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't need it. But
Well, you might end up getting it anyway if you sell Wes your other PS4.
true.
Well, there you go. It comes at $449, 50 more than the base PS4.
Because it comes with Destiny, though.
Yes, it is a Destiny 2 PS4 bundle, and it's the Glacier White.
And it's not like the Taken King version of the PS4 where it had like cool a logo on it.
Maybe they'll re-release the white
This
headphones
one,
again.
it appears to just be solid white. But, you know, if you like that Glacier White look, it's very clean. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Easy to get dirty.
Which I do like. I don't know if I want to go out and drop $450 right now for it.
Well, but you would trade in your existing one, so you would be.
Yeah, I probably would. But the fact that, you know, I don't know if it's going to offer me enough to really trade it in versus just keeping what I have now and just rocking that shit till I kill it.
Yeah.
Which, with Destiny 2 coming out, that could happen. I might burn a hole through the bottom of it.
Right. Exactly. Well, is there anything else you want to cover?
Let's see.
We've got a whole week left of IGN first news, so of course next week we'll have tons more to talk about.
It's true. We will.
I think it looks so cool, man.
Yeah.
And of course the white controller again.
Yeah, it looks very nice. It looks clean.
I have a white controller already.
I do like that. I do like how clean it looks.
Easy to get dirty. Just saying.
What's that?
It's easy to get dirty.
The copy you get with the bundle, though, is the deluxe edition.
Nice.
And what does the deluxe come with again?
The digital copy and a legendary sword, emote, and Cabal Empire themed emblem.
Yeah, so there's the one where it's just Destiny, there's one with Destiny and the digital content, there's one with Destiny and the season pass, and then there's one with Destiny and the season pass and the digital content.
Okay.
I just didn't I didn't want all the digital content stuff because it's like an emo, yeah, it's all the stuff you said. I was like, it's only $10, but
I went and got the digital deluxe edition, which comes with the legendary sword. It comes with the emote, the emblem, and all that. And I said, you know, that's going to be just fine enough for me.
But you also got the season pass.
Yeah, so it comes with the base game, the expansion pass, and then the three things I just mentioned: the sword, the emote, and the emblem.
Yeah.
Skipped
out on the emote.
That's good enough for me. I'm as a gamer, I'm very much the person that I like to have a physical copy of the game as much as I can, so I can look at a library, a proud library, and say, yeah, that's my collection. But at the same time, this is one of those games that I'm probably not going to get rid of.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have it around for a while, so I might as well just leave it where I can get to it all the time.
Yep. That's where I am too.
Because, see, I just have, standard, poor people PS4s. And I have just the 500 gigabyte hard drive.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, but with that, I find that if I get a new game, I'm like, ooh, I gotta look to see what I can delete before I can put this on there. So I know when Destiny 2 comes, I'm gonna be like, fuck, everything's gotta go.
Yeah.
Everything, just wipe it all out.
New hard drive time.
Yes.
Well, should we go play some Destiny?
I think we should.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on episode 2 of Traveler's Chat. Of course, if you like what you saw, head over to all the social medias. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Check out November 1st through the 2nd, the Extra Life stream. And go to patreon.com/derailed to support the show so you can get more beautiful episodes with Derek, because his time ain't free.
What?
What?
Huh? Pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Until next time, become legend.